It's always a pleasure to talk Sioux Empire, arts, and entertainment. And it's always a pleasure to have a new guest on as well. And that is our case today. Link West, how are you?
I am fantastic. It is great to be here.
And you look fantastic, too.
Thank you. Thank you.
And there was a part of this summer we might not have said that, especially with your smile.
Yeah.
You broke some teeth.
Yeah, I had to take a few weeks off from the gigs.
Yeah.
And I am definitely a show must go on kind of guy.
Right.
Absolutely, you know. Like the post office, right? Regardless of the weather, I'm out there doing the thing. Yeah, I've played 100 degrees. I've played in the rain.
A lot of people this year played at 100 degrees, didn't
yes,
they?
Yep, yeah.
Oh, goodness gracious. But what happened? What took place?
Yeah. Well, I was biking back home from a concert downtown, which I love doing in the summers here.
Yeah.
And coming back from the band Night Moves from Minneapolis was playing a show. Heading back home, going across the bridge on Cliff Avenue down by Lincoln High School across the river. And I don't know what distracted me, but my handlebars just barely clipped the edge of the bridge, which flipped the front wheel right into it. And my face went right into a post.
Oh, my.
It basically took out 2 teeth, and I got stitches on my nose, and I got stitches inside my mouth on my lips. And it was, I went to the ER that night. But, yeah.
Whoo!
Yeah,
like
crazy
said,
day.
Yeah. But the show must go on, and within 2 weeks you were back at it?
Yeah, I did one show before my dentist could replace the holes in my mouth with some fillings to get me through, and that was a weird show. My vocals were a little weird, but my harmonica playing was fine. So I was like...
vocals being a little weird in what way? Were you whistle while you work?
Yeah, well, the biggest thing was actually air support.
Oh, I suppose.
It's hard to keep a note going. All the air would just go right through the holes in my teeth.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So those beautiful high notes I just love to sing, they just fell flat. But did some extended harmonica solos, and it was just fine.
All right.
It worked out.
Okay.
Yep.
And you know what? If I say the wrong name throughout the course of this conversation, forgive me. Because it is actually one of your social media names, Link West Rocks. Indeed. I always think that Link West Rocks, and I think West Rocks would be a great band name.
That would be a good band name.
Yeah. You'll have to keep that in the back of your mind if you ever play with others.
I will, for sure. Yeah.
What makes you exciting as a solo performance? What is it about your act that people want to come see?
Yeah. Well, I like to do a variety of things. You know, I write songs, but most of the gigs I get are cover heavy.
Right.
For sure. That's the thing. And I like to mix it up. You know, it's I like pretty much all music.
Yeah.
So it doesn't hurt me if people want to hear a country song. If people want to hear Johnny Cash, absolutely, I'll do Johnny Cash. I love to do 80s one-hit wonders.
Oh,
songs
classics.
Like Melt With You.
Yeah.
Modern English. Under the Milky Way by The Church. There's a lot of those sort of new wavy one-hit wonder 80s tunes that I grew up on. You know, I love the Cars and all that kind of stuff. Usually they don't, you don't hear them on acoustic guitar very often, but yeah, I do my own style, kind of find my own timing on them, my own way of kind of putting it together. And I like to do songs that are slightly obscure, but when people do know the song, they really light up. Like, oh, I know that one. You know, so.
That's a great point. Yeah. Somebody goes up and requests something very strange. Are you one of those that you do know it typically, or are you one of those that goes, give me a moment, let me think about it?
Right. Well, I always say I take requests, but I probably don't know the song. However, I probably know something kind of like it. So I can usually give them something they want to hear.
What's most requested of you? Do you have a go-to that people know? Link West is great playing this tune.
Well, the Johnny Cash is always an easy one. That's for sure. So that's a good one. I get a lot of requests for the Eagles.
Yeah.
Things like that, you know. So I've picked up a few songs. Taking It Easy is a pretty good one. I find if I do take it really easy, works out pretty well. Because I'm a pretty laid back guy. You know? And most of the gigs I do, it's 2 to 3 hours. Often in the sunshine, so you need to kind of pace yourself to get through that. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Oh, that's for sure.
Those kinds of things.
And especially this year, there's been so much of that too. That people are getting a lot of the sidewalk gigs. They're getting a lot of the playing at the different breweries and so forth. What's your favorite venue?
Favorite venue? Well, I tell you, one of the places that's been great is the Brandon Farmers Market. They've got a little farmers market out there, started a couple years ago, and it's just a nice place to be. Everyone's just super friendly down there. Another place is Ben's Brew Station down in Yankton. I like getting down there.
I have not been to that yet, but I keep being told by a coworker that it's a great place.
Yep.
Okay.
Gotta definitely
put that on the
exactly.
Not necessarily bucket list, but at least get down there sometime, right? What's your favorite song to go to when you're playing?
It really depends on what I'm feeling in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Favorite songs for me. There's a Jackson Browne tune I love a lot.
Which one?
It's called These Days.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know it. Apparently, he wrote that when he was like 13 years old, which is insane. And I had no idea it was a Jackson Browne song. I thought it was a Nico song. If you know Nico from the Velvet Underground posse, she sang with them for a bit. She has a cover of it that ends up on a lot of like indie movie soundtracks. Yeah. It's really sort of, ethereal and smoky, which suits her style for sure. And then I found out that Jackson Browne actually wrote it, and I looked up his version of it. Yeah, no, that's just a great song.
That it is, no doubt about it. And I've been a huge Jackson Browne fan for, probably since I was about 13.
Okay, sure.
I've often said, I want at my funeral the last song to be running on empty.
Okay.
The tank finally.
There we go.
Out.
We got it. Got every last drop out of that tank. But here we are.
Yeah. What got you into music?
Here we are. When I was a kid, I just always played saxophone in the school band, that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So music was always around. But the moment that did it for me, I was in the 7th grade, and my dad heard me listening to the radio. And the Bangles had a cover of Hazy Shade of Winter at the time, which was a big hit for them. And I liked that song a lot. It was popular. And my dad heard it and said, that's a Simon and Garfunkel song.
Yep.
And I had no idea who he was talking about.
Right.
What are you talking about? But he went through his old vinyl record collection that was collecting dust, and he pulled out Bookends by Simon and Garfunkel, and he showed it to me.
Did he play it at that point then, too?
No, he was, I think he was between things.
Okay,
he was just going to point me in the right direction and see where I went from there. But I pulled it out, and my mind was blown that this song was actually, 30-some years older, or probably 20-some. And then I started reading the lyrics on the back of the album. The old vinyl records, all the lyrics were there. Them. Yeah, exactly. I started reading the lyrics, and as a 7th grader, my mind was blown that music could actually mean something.
Not just hey, it's got a good rhythm, you can dance to it. I'll give it a 96.
Exactly. Which I love listening to the radio as a kid, like any kid does, and sitting along with the radio, all that kind of stuff. But when you're hitting those early pubescent years, all of a sudden these are songs about love and loss, and there's a song on there about teenage suicide. And just, Mrs. Robinson's on there. Yeah. All these heavy hitting songs.
Classic stuff.
Yeah. And the lyrics were fantastic.
So by going through that process, such as that, do you find yourself now doing that even more? Mm-hmm. Like you want to find something that just was so good lyrically, not just musically?
Exactly. Yeah. And I have pretty high standards for lyrics, which gets in the way. I'm always trying to write songs, but I'm always looking at my own work and comparing it to somebody else. And, like a guy I love, current guy, Jason Isbell. Mm-hmm. If you're familiar with him, I love his stuff. And there are a handful of Jason Isbell songs I've learned that I love to do when I'm performing. Problem is, his songs are kind of sad. Yeah. Even the ones that seem kind of happy have a twist to them, It's more about the loss than the love. And so it's kind of hard to squeeze those into a set when you're trying to entertain people.
Exactly. When people are coming out and thinking, more of, like you mentioned, the Eagles and probably, a few like Johnny Cash you also mentioned. But, for me, it'd be Marshall Tucker Band or somebody along that line. And, you hear something like that, it's like, okay.
Wait a minute. Yeah. Buzzkill.
Give me another double Jack Daniels.
Great. I'm crying over here.
All right. So saxophone you started with.
Yeah.
When did the guitar come along then?
And then guitar came along when I was probably about 16. Because I wanted to sing. Yeah. And you just can't sing with the saxophone in your mouth.
Good point.
Just doesn't work, right? So I wanted to sing. And I found back to Simon and Garfunkel and that kind of stuff. I found some music books at the local record store that had the chord charts and everything. And I went through and tried to squeeze my fingers on the frets in the right places on this old acoustic guitar that my dad had in the closet since he was in college. With the strings were an inch off the frets, and it was very painful. But I just kind of kept with it.
Yeah. So at what point did you find out about electricity then?
Yeah, electricity. I toyed with that in college a little bit. Bought an electric guitar off my buddy's roommate, who decided he was done being goth and was going to play basketball. So, so this guy got a haircut, totally changed his look, changed his friend group, and sold me his guitar for like $100 with a little practice amp and everything. So started playing there, and then had a band through my 20s. I used to live in Columbus, Ohio, and had a band called the Secret Sound of the NSA, and we were kind of a Clash meets the Cars kind of a thing, and we took that very seriously. Recorded a few CDs. And, we harassed everybody we knew with any connection in the music industry, but it's a 1 in a million shot, but we tried.
as we're talking about, you like to write, and you have new songs of your own, but we'll play all of the, any request basically that somebody comes up.
Sure.
With.
Yeah. Well, but my only rule is that I have to like the song. Okay. If I like the song, I'll do it. But fortunately, I like a lot of songs.
Yeah. Well, because like you said earlier, you like good music.
Exactly. Yeah.
I guess one of the things that I love on your social media is what it says. Is it says new and known.
Yeah.
I love that. That's a great tagline.
Thank you.
Yeah. So keep using that.
Okay. I will.
What's the dream for Link West when it comes to music?
Yeah. Well, I'm not getting any younger. I'm a man of a certain age, as based on what I've talked about. Let's see, you can do the math. The Bangles had that hit in 1987.
Yeah.
And so I was in the 7th grade in 1987.
Okay.
So you can do the math on that. Yeah.
Well, because I was in 7th grade in the 70s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those are good times.
Oh, they were. I actually one day wore Coca-Cola pants.
Woo.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, they were red squares and white squares. And,
okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was been awesome.
Yeah, that was. It's back when Coca-Cola was good, too.
Right. Yeah, before New Coke.
Yeah,
right.
And everything else that came along. So what do you like to write about with your stuff?
Yeah, personal experience.
Yeah?
Basically. I like to write in general. So, I blog a lot. I write for Sodak Music Mag. It's a local website that I know you're familiar with.
Very familiar with.
Some stuff for that.
The 200th episode of this show coming up soon, and well, somebody you might know from there is going to be a guest host.
Oh, fantastic!
Yes,
fantastic.
Yeah.
So I love writing. I've written some stuff on Sioux Falls history for some things around town, and I like to do creative writing as well. I like to write in general. The thing I was trying to figure out in songs, people do assume it's about you, even if you're writing a character.
That's a great point. I never thought of that, really.
So it's kind of tricky.
But you're correct.
Yeah. So I'm never quite sure just how much to put into character and how much to put to give of myself in the lyrics. And then I'm rather picky. I mean, things have to rhyme. Things have to line up. I want the beats. I want the words to actually fall on the beats. I want the strong words at the end of the phrase, with the punch. Which is just basic writing 101 in general. So, but I overthink it.
You a writer first and then add the music?
Or
do you occasionally get a tune stuck in your head and go, I got to lay that down and then come up with the words?
Usually I have an idea. I'll have an idea. It'll be like a little snippet. It'll be a phrase, maybe like half a chorus. And then I ask myself, what do I do with this? How do I fill it out? How do I add some verses to this? Where do I go with this? That kind of a thing.
Yeah, you've talked a lot about the people that you got influenced by via your father in many ways.
True.
Hey, this was a so and so.
Yeah.
But who do you admire when it comes to songwriting?
Yeah, well, Jason Isbell is way up there. It's kind of funny. I did not like country as a kid. One of those guys that said I like everything except for country and hip hop.
Yeah,
that was kind of a standard response for a indie rock, alt rock, college rock kind of kid like I was. But when it comes to great songwriting, the country guys tend to have it. You know?
The storytelling.
Yeah.
We go out and karaoke. Well, I shouldn't say we. I go out and karaoke.
Okay.
My wife karaoke's.
Okay.
Sits there in the
sits
chair
back and
sings
enjoys.
along. Yeah.
Right.
But she always has asked me, she says, I'm surprised you don't like more country songs because you love stories.
Right.
And I find it true. And then, there's some that I love from country that I actually go to. But now as I think of that, it's like, and then I'll hear, an old song from the 60s or 70s from country.
Yeah.
And go, yeah, I should really do that one, shouldn't I?
Yeah, that's a good way. Exactly. Yeah. Sturgill Simpson is another guy these days that I like a lot. He's a great writer as well. He has a really thick Kentucky accent, which I find charming. Living in Columbus, Ohio, Columbus is right on the crossroads of a couple of different cultural zones. So if you're north of Columbus, you get into basically Rust Belt kind of stuff, which is just in the shadow of the East Coast, really out there. If you get south of Columbus, you're getting towards Kentucky really fast. So that I had so many friends there that had that sort of thick Kentucky accent like that, and so I love his stuff. It reminds me of that. So he's great. Country songs. I saw it was actually a marching band show that was set to Jolene by Dolly Parton. My kid did the color guard with the marching band and got me into all this stuff. So you never know what you're going to get into in life. You just got to keep your eyes and your heart open, see what comes. But anyway, they did a show. The first half was Jolene, classic Dolly Parton song.
Right.
And the second half was a song written, I think, in the 80s as a response to Jolene called Diane. And Diane was from the other woman's point of view. And so it's like, hey, Jolene, I had no idea that was your man. I didn't see the ring on his hand. Yeah. All that stuff, right? And it just made me tear up. The storytelling was so great. You got both women's points of view back and forth over this no good guy. And so that kind of stuff. A good country song can make you tear up pretty fast.
That's for sure. And one of my favorites was Glenn Campbell.
Oh, but, sure.
He wasn't the writer.
That's true.
Yeah. Yep. I was fortunate enough. I got to interview him live one time.
Okay.
And first thing out of my question is, what makes for a great hit? He says, good songwriter, and I've got the best. Jimmy Webb. And he did. And then even more.
Wichita Lineman, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
In fact, that's one of the lines I love.
That was one of his. Was Jimmy Webb?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yep. And I love to repeat that one quite often to my love and just say, I need you more than want you, and I want you for all time.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Just words like that. Or, by the time I get to Phoenix, she'll be rising.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Great stuff.
Yeah.
It's just, and
so
you're right. It is one of those because I was more of an instrumentalist. I really loved the music part, and I was in band since fifth grade on, but I didn't take up chorus until I was a senior then, and that was more just so because I knew I was going into radio and wanted to get some voice control, things like that. But so I was always a jazz type person, and then things just started to fall into place where it's like, that song that I've been listening to by Styx for 4 years now, I see what they meant.
Yep.
And the life experiences come along, and like you said, you like to write about your life experiences. And is there going to be one called "I Chipped My Tooth on Cliff"?
Yeah, that could be some fertile soil. Yeah. The thing is, when I got home finally back from the ER, I thought, well, I'm going to make sure I learned that lesson. And then I realized I had no idea what the lesson was. Besides maybe pay attention. I don't know.
I'm hearing a song in that.
There you go.
Tried to learn my lesson, but I didn't know what the lesson was.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I got to write that down.
Yeah, you better.
I got to steal that.
Yeah, I got a pen, some paper over here. You can go to it, my friend.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah.
Right. That's very cool. What song do you have in the works right now that you're working on for something new?
Yeah. The one song I want to record right now, it's called Mexico. And it's basically a response to Margaritaville. Yeah. I've always thought it'd be fun to be one of those guys that makes good money actually playing covers somewhere on the beach, right?
Yep.
And for a while, I lived down in Hilton Head, South Carolina, which is a big vacation area. Just working as a waiter down there after college. And I always thought, well, I should learn Brown Eyed Girl and Margaritaville and do that instead of waiting tables. Never got around to it because I was too busy having fun. But then I learned Margaritaville for the gigs I do now because a buddy of mine, that's his favorite song, and he likes to show up at the gigs, and he always asked for it. Right. So eventually, okay, I got to learn Margaritaville. So I did, and then I realized it's not really a happy song.
No.
You know, I thought it was a happy song until I actually checked out the lyrics.
It's a great sing-along song.
It sure is. Yeah. It sure is. But the whole, wasting away. Right. And so the song Mexico, it's about a guy later in life being down on his luck, thinks maybe I'll go to Mexico, find a place in the sun where all the tourists go, make some new friends, find a seaside bar, get paid in Coronas for playing my guitar.
Oh.
Yeah. And then, 3 sets a night, making everybody feel all right about wasting away and Brown Eyed Girls. And then the last tag is, and then I'll forget all of my regrets about wasting away and Brown Eyed Girls. Whew. So trying to pull in a little music history.
I love it.
That kind of thing.
All right. So, what do you have out there that's available for people right now?
Yeah. Honestly, not much original stuff. Yeah. I'm still trying to get that down, some recordings. I do a lot of home recording, which I love doing.
Yeah.
I record a lot of covers just for fun. So I'm trying to figure out, do I go to studio and get the stuff down or not? So so not much original stuff out there right now.
Okay.
Unfortunately, just mostly just covers at the moment.
Well, I'm loving your Mexico song already.
Thank you.
I think it's got a lot of legs.
Yeah. Oh, the nice thing about that one,
to go along with the Brown Eyed Girls.
Yeah. Those are good too. Yeah, I've got one too. The best decision of my life was to marry up and marry a Brown Eyed Girl. So it worked out well for me.
Well done.
No regrets there, for sure.
What do you have coming up that people could catch you at?
Yeah, well, if you're going to be up in Huron at the State Fair here on Thursday.
Okay.
I'll be up there doing 3 shows. Be at one of the side stages, noon, 2:30, and 7, I believe.
Okay.
Be up there for the day. So if you're up at the State Fair, checking out the prize-winning pigs and all that kind of stuff, having some funnel cakes, stop by and say hi. Be great to see you. So that'd be a good day. Going to be out at the Brandon Farmers Market again that weekend, doing a town fest in, I'm not sure I'm saying this right, Hawarden, Iowa. Yeah. They have a little town fest on Sunday night. Be doing that one on Sunday. Then out of Granite City on their patio, and about a week after that. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Lots of chances.
Yeah. Should be a good summer.
And all around too.
Yeah.
Yeah. The last time I heard Hey Warden.
Yeah, exactly. Sir.
Where am I?
Right. Lights out. Right.
All right. Always like to end with 2 questions. Sometimes the answer to the first means we don't have to answer the second one. When you're not part of the arts and entertainment scene, what do you like to be entertained by?
Oh, that is a great question. I like to get out and see as much music as I can around town. And that could be anything. We have a great symphony here.
Oh, yeah, amazing, aren't they?
Yeah, I've made friends with some of the players in that, and the level of talent we have in this town is fantastic. So usually get out to a few of their shows every season. I've got buddies that do what I do in town, and I'm sure plenty of people you've had on here. Yeah. I'd love to go see what they're doing, just have a beer or two and stop in just to say hi. So that's good too. I just like seeing the people, frankly, even if I'm not that interested in the music. I was down at the That Sounds Decent festival last weekend, 8th and Railroad. And just for the people watching, really.
Didn't get a chance to get to it this year.
It was free.
It's just a great thing that goes on. Yeah. All right. So the follow-up question then is, any other hobbies?
Any other hobbies? Let's see here. Yeah, well, honestly, between trying to write what I wish to write and trying to learn the songs I wish to learn, I have so much going on.
Right. Little time.
Yeah, and a lot of people would consider those hobbies, but to me, they're serious. So, a friend of mine once said that if you're a serious man, you don't have any hobbies. Because you take your interests seriously.
Yes, so, I love that.
Yeah, he was kind of a hard ass, if I can say that on air here.
So you may.
Yeah. So take it with a grain of salt. I think it's great. I love gardening. I grow tons of tomatoes and hot peppers, and right now they're just all over the place. They've exploded late summer.
Yeah. Do you do cilantro?
I do.
Excellent.
Yeah, cilantro is tricky though, because it bolts, goes to flowers pretty quickly, especially when it gets hot out. So the cilantro comes in the spring very nicely, but the tomatoes and peppers aren't ready for the salsas and things until later. By that time, the cilantro's gone to seed. Yeah. So sometimes I'll plant some more, try to keep it shaded and watered so it grows. But so you gotta got to kind of balance those things out. But
right.
yeah, I like biking a lot too.
Oh,
Yeah.
see, you got plenty going.
I guess I do. I guess I'm not a serious man. I have too many hobbies.
Oh, yes, you are.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
No.
well, you're serious about your hobbies, too. There we go. All right, Link West, thank you so much. Appreciate your time. And best of wishes to down the road for you. I feel good things coming on.
Thank you so much. It's been great being here.
Thank you. And we'll be back with more of the Dave Holly Hour in just a moment.